readers. My name is Dawn Hughes, and I'm the coordinator for Booktrib's book club program. I'm here today with Adele Parks to talk about Two Dead Wives, her explosive new thriller that examines what it is to be a family and the dangerous lengths people will go to for those they love. Adele's novel is one of the selections available in Booktrib's book club program for October. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us today.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm excited. We only have about 5 minutes, so I'm going to just dive right in. So no spoilers, please. But what can you share about the novel that we wouldn't find on the jacket cover?
Okay. This book is a standalone. If you've never read me before, you can read it. Or if you have read Woman Last Seen, this book is probably down to you because it was my North American market that demanded, after Woman Last Seen, which ends ambiguously, demanded a sequel, and I supplied it. So this book is about, and this isn't a spoiler, it's in the first chapter, a woman who was a bigamist, and she's vanished. And obviously, we always look to the husband and think, maybe he's done it. And in this case, there are two husbands who are left grieving. And I believe that love is just a shiver away from hate. So which, if either, are responsible?
Wow, that actually premise gave me chills. And that line, love is just a shiver away from hate. So true.
Yes, sadly.
Yeah, sadly.
If you love strongly, it's very easy. If something dreadful happens, to hate strongly too, sadly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Interesting. So obviously you've got some themes in there, which would make it a great, I believe, book club selection. Why do you think it's a great book club selection?
Yes, I think so. There are the themes. There's she's missing, and I think anyone can understand that heartbreak of not knowing how to grieve because there's no body. So how to grieve, how to carry on. So there's things that we can all relate to of moving on in life, but there's also themes of the love, betrayal, family, things that, again, we can all relate to. But, and I think this is interesting, there are multiple viewpoints. It's told from both of the husbands that have left behind, her sons that are left behind, her best friend. There's a sub-story of a woman who's been looked after by her elderly father as she recovers from some complex surgery, and she has issues with isolation because it's just after the COVID times, and she's sort of being isolated through society and what's happening there. So there's a lot of different viewpoints, and you will, I believe, everybody in your book group will have some level of sympathy with everybody, but there will be a line drawn with every character. And it's always interesting to see where people draw their lines. And that always sparks debate. And anything that sparks debate, I think, is great for a book club, because my characters are definitely interesting, but they all have very variable moral compasses to be discussed.
That's what makes such great characters too.
I hope so.
Prep you for this question, but I have to ask just because the premise is so engaging. Where did you come up with that idea? What, like,
The bigamist?
Yeah.
I think all of us, but particularly women, well, no, I think all of us compartmentalize our lives, but women tend to have to do it. If you're working, I know I go out and I can live quite a glamorous life, actually, as very lucky to be a successful novelist, and it's all going well and wonderful. And I remember one day going to the Shard, a hugely important building in the UK, and very glamorous lunch there with my publishers. And I strode across a bridge in London. It was beautiful sunshine. I came home on the train, walked into my house, and I stood in cat sick. And then I had to clean up cat sick and get back onto my real life, which is, looking after, being the sandwich generation, looking after my elderly parents, having a young adult who was doing exams at the time. And it made me giggle. And I thought, gosh, my life is so extreme. One is particularly glamorous and one is kind of not. And it did make me think about people living double lives. And obviously, really, I don't live it in an illegal way. But I took it to that extreme with this woman who and why is she living it in this way? And what are the advantages? And clearly, what are the disadvantages? It is illegal.
I can't wait to read this book. It's so exciting. It sounds
Thank you.
fantastic. I think our book clubs will love it as well. So thank you for that. I'm going to steer off your book for a little bit because I'm curious to know, as a writer, you obviously do a lot of reading. What's the best book you've read in the last year and why? I know it's tough.
Literally very recently, I think I was quite late to the party on this one, but I read Yellowface, and I didn't know anything about this book. I literally picked it up because there were piles of it everywhere and you couldn't ignore it. So I decided to pick it up and really had no idea even that it was about the publishing industry, but it is. So obviously, as an insider, and by the word insider, I don't mean you have to be a writer or an editor. You have to be a reader. So this book celebrates all the great things about being a writer or a reader, but it also examines quite thoroughly all the difficult things about being a writer or a reader right now. So things like cultural appropriation, stardom, how social media, our true selves to our presented selves. There's a lot in there, and it's wry and it's funny and it made me smile. It's quite dark and it has some deliciously difficult parts, and it is about plagiarism so there's some very difficult subjects in there, but I very much enjoyed it. It's written by somebody who's very of now. I think it really feels as though this is the zeitgeist book of the time, really looking at our issues, and yeah, I think everyone should be reading it.
Oh, sold. I have not read that yet. It's on my list though. So
It's on everybody's list. And if I tell you that it starts off with a woman, two best friends out, one's a very successful novelist, got prizes and film deals and all the rest of it. And the other's a struggling novelist and a very successful one. And this is not dreadful, spoiling things, first chapter. She chokes, dies, and the other one looks and sees the unpublished manuscript on her desk. What does she do?
oh,
Should that manuscript see the light of day or not? That's the premise.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I can't believe I haven't read it yet.
I know. I thought that once I knew what it was about, I was like, I should have read this before.
I wonder if it's on audio. I've been reading.
It is on audio, because I quite often, and I do this even with my own books. I quite like, when I'm about to promote again, I've usually written the book in between. So
Yeah.
I have to go back. So I listen to them on audio and read at the same time. And actually I did that with Yellowface. I would listen to it on audio while I was doing my ironing and then read it when I was in bed.
Oh, smart. I think I might have to do that. Okay. I literally could talk to you all day. Honestly, I could.
So
Do need to wrap it up. So thank you for your time again.
thank you for your time. And thank you for choosing Two Dead Wives. I'm so excited to hear what the market thinks of it. Please do get in touch and let me know.
Absolutely. For more information about Adele's book, please check out the book club page on the booktrib.com website, and sending you so much good luck for this book.
Thank you.